Hey everyone, welcome to a special New York edition of the Scouting Report. I'm Greg Lalas alongside Andrew Wiebe. We are in for the usual dynamic duo of Dan Hayek and Matt Doyle. We miss them, we miss the scarves that are usually behind them, and...
Look, most of all, we miss the mismatched undershirts. You never know what you're going to get. With us, we're a little boring.
Well, there's nothing mismatched about the first leg of the Western Conference semifinal between the Seattle Sounders and the Portland Timbers. This is a clash made for television, made for discussion, made for scouting and reporting on. Andrew, what's the headline for it?
It's Clint, Dempsey, and Diego Valeri against the Terriers.
We're going to have to explain that a little bit later on. But first, let's look at how these teams did against each other this season. So the two Cascadia rivals squared off 3 times. They split the series, a win each and 1 draw. All of them very tight affairs. It was 1-1 in the draw and 1-0 wins for each side.
Yeah, look, in the first 2 meetings, I think you throw those right out the window when you're looking at this tactical battle. Different teams, different personnel, different definitions of what they wanted to do on the field. The one thing we do know about the most recent game, though, it got heated. And you saw that red card to Ozzie Alonso, that elbow into Will Johnson's face. We could see more of that. 4 red cards in 8 matches between these two teams. They've always been very evenly matched, 2-2 and 3 over the course of this rivalry and regular season matchups. The big thing, though, to think about in that game, the one on October 13th, no Diego Valeri, no Brad Evans, and most importantly, no Eddie Johnson. He's the guy that makes it go. We'll see if he can, maybe write that check here in this game. It's a big one for him.
Well, I don't know if the check is the stat that we need to be looking at, but now time for the WTF stat, and that is brought to us by the number 1. It's kind of like Sesame Street. Remember when they would bring things from the number?
Definitely do.
It is the number 1. Why? Because as these teams have gone, neither team has scored more than 1 goal in their last 5 meetings.
Yeah, it's tight. As I said, dead even between these two teams as far as record. It's cagey. Nobody wants to make a mistake, and that's understandable with those two fan bases behind them. It also helps you have 2 of the best goalkeepers in the league. Donovan Ricketts, an amazing season. Michael Geschperning, now out, was good in those previous matchups. We'll see if Marcus Hanneman can match up. But here's something to think about. 3 games this season, not one time have they had more than 4 shots on goal for either team, and that was just once. I expect this to be a midfield battle, and there's plenty of guys in there to battle with each other.
Well, who are those guys? That talks about the man-to-man here. What is it going to be? I'm bringing up Diego Valeri against Osvaldo Alonso.
Yeah, we mentioned those Terriers. Osvaldo Alonso is certainly one of them, and his main responsibility is going to be to recover the ball and keep track of Diego Valeri. We saw it against Chivas USA. If Diego Valeri can find space between the back line and that midfield and get turned and make the final ball and have room to shoot from distance, he is absolutely lethal, so you have to keep track of him if you're Ozzie Alonso. On the other side of the field, Dempsey wants to do the same thing, and he did it to great effect against the Colorado Rapids, perhaps his best game in this regard. But I have to think that Will Johnson and Diego Chara are not going to lose him the way the Rapids did. They're going to be all over him. They're not going to give him space, and that's going to make it difficult for the Sounders, who are going to rely on him to create.
Let me do the math there. So it's Valeri against Alonso. That's 1v1. But it's Dempsey against Chara and Johnson 1v2. That's going to make it pretty difficult, ultimately, I think, for the Sounders to find Eddie Johnson, get him open. It is going to be a great game, and remember, this is the first time these two longtime rivals have ever met in the playoffs in MLS. The buzz has been building, I think, since the second half of Seattle's victory over Colorado in the knockout round, and the Portland Timbers fans were on Twitter already making it known that they were excited about this one. The match kicks off at 10 p.m. Eastern Time on NBC SN Saturday night. It's going to be epic. Do not miss it.